राधामाधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जयो नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। So today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 10, the branches of the Chaitanya tree, verse number 77. Bhagavati Devananda Vakreshwara Kripate Bhagavatera Bhakti Artha Paila Prabhu Hoite. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam. But by the mercy of Vakreshwar Pandit and the grace of the Lord, he understood the devotional interpretation of the Bhagavatam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Khanda, chapter 21, it is stated that Devanand Pandit and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's father, Visharad, lived in the same village. Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like his interpretation of it. In the present town of Navadip, which was formerly known as Kulia, Lord Chaitanya showed such mercy to him that he gave up the Mayavadi interpretation of Srimad Bhagavatam and learned how to explain Srimad Bhagavatam in terms of bhakti. Formerly, when Devanand was expounding the Mayavadi interpretation, Srivas Thakur was once present in his meeting, and when he began to cry, Devananda's students drove him away. Some days later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that way, and when he met Devanand, he chastised him severely because of his Mayavad interpretation of Srimad Bhagavatam. At that time, Devanand had little faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an incarnation of Lord Krishna. But one night, some time later, Vakreshwar Pandit was a guest in his house. And when he explained the science of Krishna, Devanand was convinced about the identity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus he was induced to explain Srimad Bhagavatam according to the Vaishnava understanding. In the Gaur Ganodesha Dipika 106, it is described that he was formerly Bhaguri Muni, the Sabha Pandit who recited Vedic literatures in the house of Nanda Maharaj. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama नमा ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 10, verse number 77, translation. Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but by the mercy of Vakreshwar Pandit and the grace of the Lord, he understood the devotional interpretation of the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates was walking on the streets of Navadip. Before taking sannyas in his Navadip Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have long hair, beautiful curling black hair decorated with nice flowers, and he would wear nice colorful clothes, and his golden body would be decorated with nice ornaments and flower garlands, and so tall personality. His hands would touch his knees and his eyes are like lotus petal and so beautiful. So he was walking with the gait of an elephant on the streets of Navadip, and so many devotees were walking with him. At that time they crossed one house, one ashram of Devanand Pandit, who was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to his students. Devanand Pandit used to stay like a sannyasi, very simple living, simple eating, and since years he was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to various students. He was very honest and sincere Brahmana and renounced personality, and he had lots of good qualities. So he was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to his students, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walking on the street, he heard the explanation of Devanand Pandit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got very angry. He said, "This Devanand Pandit, he is teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to his students, but he himself does not understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam talks only about pure devotional service, and this Devanand Pandit has no attachment to Krishna. He has no attachment to the holy name. He is not a pure devotee of Krishna. So what is the use of his teaching? He is only giving Mayavadi interpretation. And today you see, I will go and tear his book." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry on Devanand Pandit, because Devanand Pandit, even though he was claiming to be a teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, even though he was teaching students from the book Bhagavatam, but he would not talk about Krishna and Krishna's pure devotional service and attachment to Krishna's lotus feet and surrender to Krishna. He would not talk about all this. He would just talk about the knowledge aspect of the book. And he had offended Srivas Pandit once. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very angry, and he wanted to tear the book of Devanand Pandit. But all the devotees who were walking with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they restricted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not to go and tear the book. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't go and tear. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that Srimad Bhagavatam is crest jewel of all scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is king of all the scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna, and any house has a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. Inauspiciousness cannot enter that house. And anybody who hears and worships Srimad Bhagavatam will develop pure devotional service. But this Devanand is an offender, aparadhi, and because of that he has no taste in chanting the holy name of Krishna, and he has no eagerness to serve Vaishnavas, and he has no attitude in pure service to Krishna. So his teaching, what he is teaching is of no use. So another day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on the street of Navadip, he came across Devanand Pandit. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry, he chastised Devanand Pandit that you are a rascal. You think you are a great teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, but you don't understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Once when you were teaching Srimad Bhagavatam to your students, Srivas Pandit came near your house, near your ashram, near your school, and there you were reciting the shlokas from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was explaining the beautiful form of Shyam Sundar. There are very beautiful descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam about Krishna's form, Shyam Sundar, that how Krishna is bluish in color like a tamal tree, and his eyes are like lotus petals, and his eyebrows are like bows, and his face is like a moon, and his hair is very nice black curls, and his lips is reddish, and his teeth are pearl like white, and his nose is raised, and his cheeks are like mirror, and his chest is very broad, and his waist is very thin. He wears a yellow dhoti and a peacock feather, and he plays a flute, and he has shark shaped earrings, and he wears a Vaijayanti garland and a nice turban and a shirt and a waistband and various ornaments, and Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna is so attractive, so mesmerizing, that all the beauty of the universe emanates from Krishna. Mother Rukmini Devi, when she writes a letter to Krishna, she writes, "My dear Bhuvana Sundar, my dear beauty of the universe." All beauty emanates from Krishna. If you anywhere see beauty, that beauty is coming from Krishna. All the gopis in Vrindavan, they get attracted to Krishna's beauty. The Brajavasis, they get attracted to Krishna's beauty. The cows, the calves, the deers, the peacock, the monkeys, the trees, the creepers, the water of river Yamuna, they all get attracted to Krishna's beauty. Even demons get attracted to Krishna's beauty, like Kaliya. So Devanand Pandit, when he was reading the narration of beautiful form of Krishna, Srivas Pandit, who is a pure devotee of Krishna, he developed ecstatic symptoms in his body. Krishna's beauty is a impetus. Krishna's beauty is an impetus to arouse love for him. When the gopis see Krishna's beautiful form, the love is aroused in their heart. When the gopis hear Krishna's flute, the love is aroused in their heart. When Yashoda Maiya sees Krishna's naughty activities, the love is aroused in her heart, Vatsalya love. So Krishna's beauty is one such item which makes our love come out. So when Srivas Pandit heard the beautiful narration of Krishna's form, ecstatic love developed in his heart. And because of that, he had ecstatic symptoms. Tears were coming from his eyes, and hairs were standing on his skin. And he went inside the school, inside the ashram, to hear more. And when he was hearing more, he fell unconscious on the ground. And the students who were hearing Devanand Pandit's class, They saw some person has come inside and is fall unconscious, and the students thought that this person is disturbing our class. So 4 students got up and they caught hold of hand and legs of Srivas Pandit and they went and threw him on the road. And Devanand Pandit, who was their guru, who was their teacher, he didn't stop. Devanand Pandit couldn't identify Srivas Pandit's ecstasy. Devanand Pandit couldn't identify that Srivas Pandit has fallen unconscious out of ecstasy because he heard the beautiful shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam describing Krishna's beautiful form. So because Devanand Pandit was devoid of bhakti, his students were also devoid of bhakti. A disciple cannot advance in spiritual life when the spiritual master himself is not advanced. So when the teacher doesn't have his, how will the student have it? So Devanand Pandit had no bhakti and his students offended Srivas Pandit, and Devanand Pandit didn't stop the students. So that was an offense on the part of Devanand Pandit. And when Srivas Pandit found himself thrown on the road, he felt hurt and he got up with pain in his heart and he went home and he cried and he cried and he cried in pain, feeling separation from Krishna. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Paramatma, who is super soul in the heart of Srivas Pandit, he came inside his body to pacify him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Devanand Pandit, he remembered how Devanand Pandit had done Vaishnav Aprad, how Devanand Pandit had done offense at the lotus feet of Srivas Pandit. So he chastised Devanand Pandit that, you rascal, when Srivas Pandit fell unconscious hearing the narration of Krishna's beautiful form, your students threw him and you didn't stop your students because you yourself are not clear what Bhagavatam is speaking. You yourself don't understand Srimad Bhagavatam. You have offended Srivas Pandit and you have no right to teach Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is king of all scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And in this Kali Yuga, Srimad Bhagavatam and Tulsi Maharani and Mother Ganga and Krishna's devotees, these 4 are extremely worshipable, more worshipable than the deity in the altar. Why? Because when you invite a deity in the altar of a temple, you have to do pran pratishtha. Pran pratishtha means when the deity form is there in the temple, the Acharya, with the help of mantras and his own devotional service, prays to Krishna to descend and be present in the deity to accept the offerings and worship. So the Acharya, with the mantras and devotion, invokes the presence of Krishna inside a deity, and that is how the installed deity is worshipped, like Sri Sri Radha Raj Piyari. But Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't need any installation, doesn't need any pran pratishtha. If you take Srimad Bhagavatam set in your house, Krishna has come directly in your house. That's Srimad Bhagavatam, which doesn't require any installation. So Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heavily chastised Devanand Pandit, and Devanand Pandit was face to face in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He couldn't speak anything and he just remained silent. He heard the chastisement and he left the place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is worshipped as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, non-different from Krishna. But unfortunately, Devanand Pandit didn't have that faith that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. And so Devanand Pandit didn't receive the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though the whole village received mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, after taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu travelled in South India, and once he came back to Navadip. He didn't go to Mayapur, but he came back to Navadip and he went to the village of Kulia, where Devanand Pandit's ashram was there. So many villagers and local people came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was now a popular sannyasi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy to everybody. He gave Krishna Prem to everybody. At that time, Devanand Pandit also came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his last meeting, had chastised Devanand Pandit. He called him rascal. And in his last meeting, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denied giving mercy to Devanand Pandit. Now, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again came to the village and Devanand Pandit came and offered his obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made him sit in front of him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept his lotus feet on the head of Devanand Pandit, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy to Devanand Pandit. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu changed his mind? There's a story behind it. What had happened is, in the ashram of Devanand Pandit, in the village of Devanand Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's another devotee, Vakreshwar Pandit, had come there. Vakreshwar Pandit is a very great associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Vakreshwar Pandit had so much Shakti, so much empowerment, that when devotees would do Kirtan, Vakreshwar Pandit would continuously dance in the Kirtan. And Vakreshwar Pandit once danced continuously for 72 hours. 72 hours, that was 24 plus 24 plus 24. 3 continuous days and night, Vakreshwar Pandit danced. This is not just bodily skill. This is something different. This is transcendental. So Vakreshwar Pandit dance was so amazing, so popular. Devotees were so happy with him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vakreshwar, if I had one more associate like you, I will fly in the sky. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, generally a good associate is compared to as my right hand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compared him to my right wing, that I will fly in the sky if I have one more Vakreshwar Pandit. So Vakreshwar Pandit once came to Kulia. And Kulia, in the road, on the street, there were some devotees sitting and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this was at that time in Bengal. There were many Kirtan parties. And every day evening they would sit on the street corner and chant the holy name of Krishna. So great preaching. That is how we should preach. That people come out and chant the holy name of Krishna. And everywhere people are chanting the holy name. Of course not in lockdown. Now we be at home safely. But otherwise, holy name should spread on every street and every road and every village of the world. So in Kulia, some devotees were chanting and dancing, and Vakreshwar Pandit started dancing, and his dancing was so amazing. In ecstasy, sometimes he will jump, and sometimes he will fall down, sometimes he will laugh, and he will cry, and he will fall unconscious, and his body will shiver, and he would whirl around, and he would raise his hands, and he was dancing, and gradually a crowd was forming, and big crowd, the whole village was assembled there seeing the dance of Vakreshwar Pandit. And because so much crowd was formed around the dance area, sometimes people would push each other, and that will disturb the dance of Vakreshwar Pandit. Somebody would come in front to touch the feet of Vakreshwar Pandit. So Devanand Pandit, who was also among the crowd, he took a stick and he made some space so that the crowd doesn't disturb Vakreshwar Pandit. And he made some protection so that nobody touches Vakreshwar Pandit and disturb his dance. And in that way he offered service to Vakreshwar Pandit. And whenever Vakreshwar Pandit would fall unconscious, Devanand Pandit would personally lift him and wipe the dust on his body and arrange that he continues to dances, and wipe the perspiration in his body by his chadar. So Devanand Pandit offered lots of service to Vakreshwar Pandit, and whole evening till night he was dancing. So after the kirtan and dance was over and it was late night, Devanand Pandit invited Vakreshwar Pandit to come and stay in his house and have prasad. And Vakreshwar Pandit agreed, obliged, and Vakreshwar Pandit stayed in the house of Devanand Pandit for few days. And in this few days, Vakreshwar Pandit started preaching to Devanand Pandit about Krishna, about pure devotional service, about Srimad Bhagavatam, about how the soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and we are eternal, and Krishna is eternal, and our constitutional position is to offer service to Krishna. The whole Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. And then Vakreshwar Pandit realized that he was wrong, and he had offended Srivas Pandit. And by the association of Vakreshwar Pandit, Devanand Pandit realized that I didn't had faith that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. But Vakreshwar Pandit explained him properly based on scriptures that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is same as Krishna. This is very important for the followers of ISKCON to understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is equal to Krishna. There is no difference. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna is original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself coming as a devotee to teach us how to serve Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna, he instructed in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayasyami Masucha, that you give up all so-called religion, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me only, and I will give you protection from all sinful reactions and give you liberation. Do not worry, do not fear. Mahasucha. But after that, Kali Yuga came and many people didn't understand how to surrender, and they didn't surrender. So Krishna again came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us how to surrender. So he came as a devotee to give us an example of how to surrender to Krishna. And he taught us that the foremost process to surrender to Krishna is to chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and by associating and hearing from Vakreshwar Pandit, Devanand Pandit realized, and he developed faith on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He developed faith on Nityanand Prabhu, and he continued serving Vakreshwar Pandit, offering him prasad and assisting him taking bath and other things, and washing his clothes, and protecting him when he is dancing, and massaging his feet, and asking him questions, and all kind of personal menial services he did for Vakreshwar Pandit. So, and then when he realized his offense towards Srivas Pandit, he even went and begged forgiveness from Srivas Pandit. So this time when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased with him. Why? Because Vakreshwar Pandit blessed him. Because Devanand Pandit served Vakreshwar Pandit blessed him, and because Vakreshwar Pandit blessed him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would definitely bless. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. Bhagavad Prasado. Krishna's mercy is easily available when a spiritual master's mercy is available, when we please the pure devotee of Krishna. In fact, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur writes a very interesting point in Chaitanya Bhagavat. He says that when one serves Krishna, sincerely serves Krishna, he may or may not get perfection. But if somebody sincerely serves a Vaishnav, there is no doubt, 100% guarantee that he will get perfection. Vrindavan Das Thakur writes that serving a devotee of Krishna is considered much better by Krishna himself than his personal service. And time and again we see Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they all, Vyasdev, they all served a pure devotee of Krishna. In this case, Narad Muni, and they very easily achieved the mercy of Krishna. So because Devanand Pandit served Vakreshwar Pandit, this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased with him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept his lotus feet on the head of Devanand Pandit, and he told him that I am pleased with you, and he gave him Krishna Prem. That is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Devanand Pandit. So Devanand Pandit very humbly begged forgiveness from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and told him, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since childhood I have only known this occupation of teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know anything else to do. But now I have realized whatever I was teaching was useless. It was of no use. But I can't do anything else. I want to continue this work. So you please kindly instruct me, how should I teach Srimad Bhagavatam? So Devanand Pandit is asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how to teach Srimad Bhagavatam, how to give Srimad Bhagavatam class. Now all ISKCON devotees should know the answer of this, how to give Srimad Bhagavatam class. Because you may be giving or in future may give Srimad Bhagavatam class, whether to a big audience or a small audience or even to one person or even to yourself you are reading. So please take a notebook and a pen and note down how to give a Srimad Bhagavatam class, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tips, how to give Srimad Bhagavatam class. This will be required in the future. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Devanand Pandit that whenever you are giving Bhagavatam class, you divide the class into three parts. The class should be in three parts. The beginning part, the middle part, and the end part. So in the beginning part of class, you should talk only about pure devotional service. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is only about pure devotional service. Then the end part of the class, you should talk only about pure devotional service. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam talks about only pure devotional service. Now very important, the middle part. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the middle part you should only talk about pure devotional service. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam talks only about pure devotional service. In other words, sitting on a Vyasasana and giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class, one should only talk about pure devotional service. One should not sit on Vyasasana and try to crack jokes so that audience is laughing and happy. Or one should try to speak half truth so that the audience doesn't get disturbed when you speak truth about how to avoid sense gratification. Or one should not try to promote oneself as a scholar, pandita, learned person, that I am a scholar, look, I can speak nicely, I have nice communications, oratorship. One should not promote oneself. Vyasasana is not for promoting one's scholarship or promoting oneself as a pure devotee or a great advanced soul, or trying to gather money and followers and disciples and respect and obeisances, or trying to hint to people about one's greatness through a class. Or Bhagavatam is not a management meeting that one tries to indirectly chastise or insult some people whom one dislikes in the community. Srimad Bhagavatam is not for all this, or climate or cricket news or political news or something like that. Srimad Bhagavatam is only talking about pure devotional service, glorifying Krishna, glorifying devotees, and glorifying the relationship between Krishna and his devotees, and glorifying the process of devotional service, and no tinge of Mayavad or demigod worship or anything other than pure devotional service. That's not the purpose of the class. So a person who sits on Vyasasana should be pure, and his character should be perfect, his behavior should be perfect, his senses should be in control, and he should represent the Guru Shishya Parampara as it is. He should speak only from Srila Prabhupada's books, and he should follow four regulative principles, and he should lead a pure celibate life and away from name, fame, or some benefit, or being envious to other Vaishnavas. that should not be there. So Srimad Bhagavatam is only pure devotional service. And Srimad Bhagavatam can be understood only from person Bhagavat. There is Pustak Bhagavat and Purush Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Devanand Pandit that a book Bhagavatam can be understood from person Bhagavatam. Who is person Bhagavatam? Person Bhagavatam is that person who follows the book Bhagavatam, who is walking Bhagavatam. Only from such a person one can understand Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Daily we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Daily service to Purush Bhagavatam and daily service to Pustak Bhagavatam. Daily service to book Bhagavatam and daily service to person Bhagavatam. So daily when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, a revolution happens. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to perform revolution in the whole world, in the whole society. At least allow it to happen in your life. At least allow the revolution to happen in your life. So every day we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam and our heart will get transformed. All the anarthas will go away. Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion will go away, and devotional service would be established. Bhakti will be established. We can see Krishna on every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami and written by Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva wrote it after Vyasadeva wrote the 4 Vedas and the Upanishads and the Puranas and the Vedanta Sutra, but still he was unsatisfied, dissatisfied, he was despondent. His mind was agitated and restless and disturbed. And then Narad Muni told him, this is because you have not exclusively glorified Krishna. So Vyasadeva, after hearing from Narad Muni, he again sat into meditation and he approached absolute truth. He had darshan of Krishna, he had realization of absolute truth. And then he wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a mature realization of Srila Vyasadeva. And if all the Vedic literature are compared to a tree, Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to the fruit of that tree. And what Sukadeva Goswami gives is the juice of that fruit of the tree. And we just have to pibatam, we just have to drink it with our ears. Sukadeva Goswami makes it very tasty. So we just have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, we just have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Out of 5 primary potent activities in devotional service, one is Srimad Bhagavatam. Chanting the holy name of Krishna, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, serving and associating with Vaishnavas, worshipping the deity and staying in Mathura. So hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is one. When we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that's a primary potent devotional activity, primary potent item in devotional activity. Out of 64, Rupa Goswami said 5 are primary, and out of 5, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is one. That's why in ISKCON every day in morning, Srila Prabhupada started this system of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in association of devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Devanand Pandit that Srimad Bhagavatam is not ordinary book. It's a mature fruit of Vedic literature. And Sukadeva Goswami has given us in a juice form. We just have to drink the nectar. And when we read and hear, then our life is transformed. So my dear devotees, please every day read Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you are not started, if you are reading some other books, Prabhupada books, read some small books, medium books, Bhagavad Gita, and then come to Srimad Bhagavatam, and then Chaitanya Chaitamrita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, nectar of devotion. Like this, please do read some pages every day. So make this an habit to read Srimad Bhagavatam, and you see such a big change in your life. The foundation of your Krishna conscious sadhana would become very, very strong by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And life is only for pure devotional service. And Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching only pure devotional service, nothing else. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Devanand Pandit the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and how Srimad Bhagavatam is only talking about pure devotional service, and how he should explain to students only pure devotional service. And when he does that, then his life is perfect. And in this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu transformed the life of Devanand Pandit, and in this way he delivered Devanand Pandit. And we just read in the verse, Devanand Pandit in Krishna Leela was in Vrindavan. He was Bhaguri Muni. Bhaguri Muni was Sabha Pandit. In Nanda Maharaj in Gokul, Vrindavan is a king, and he has a Sabha assembly, and there were some Brahmanas in that assembly, some Panditas who would recite Vedic literature, recite the shlokas from Vedas and Puranas and Upanishads. So he was one of the Sabha Pandit who came as Devanand Pandit in Chaitanya Leela, and by the mercy of Vakreshwar Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got delivered and became a pure devotee of Krishna. Okay, we will end here. If there are any questions, you may type in the comment box and we will reply. Thank you very much. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So since there are no questions, we will end here. After the live session is ended, if you have any questions, you may type in the comment box and we will reply. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.